Welcome. This is Robin with Odessa Rose Creates, and today I hope you're joining me live. If it's a little red box up in the corner, that means we're live. Otherwise, you may be watching the replay either here on Facebook or on my YouTube channel. So say hello either way, live or replay. I would love to hear a hello from you. Let me just check the camera and make sure we are seeing everything well. Good. Okay, perfect. So today I want to work with our Chalkatura transfer. There's Snow Place Like Home. And we're going to apply some scrapbook paper. I have a lot of people asking how I do that. I have several videos you can go back and watch on my video playlist, either on YouTube or on my Facebook page, and see that. But I'm going to go ahead and do it today too, so you can watch again. And we're going to make it very similar to this one I already did in this color palette of my Alpine Mary collection I have already made. So we're going to do, and now I'm working on a collection with a different color palette I call Mary Reminisce, and we're going to work with that color palette. But it's going to be very similar to this style. We'll put some scrapbook paper up here and down here, and we'll chalk on this transfer. These are identical boards that I got probably at Hobby Lobby on super duper clearance, and then I sand or just repaint over them and then wax and when I'm all done, so it gives it that aged look versus the bright white. But so the identical things, we're just going to do it in a different color palette. So hi, Brittany Marie. I'm so excited to watch you do this. Oh my gosh. Thanks. Okay, I'm going to set this one down. So if you are new to Chalkatura, this is a product that's only available through Chalkatura designers like myself. And you can shop for the transfers. Chalkology paste is what we put on our transfers, on signs, any hard surface. We also do sell our ink also, and our inks are used for fabrics that you're going to launder, such as t-shirts or anything you're going to throw in the wash, and you can also use it on our canvas banners. You can use our chalk paste or the inks on canvas banners depending on what you're most comfortable with, I guess. But if you're going to wash something, then you definitely want to use the ink, and we heat set that ink in our fabric with an iron or an easy press. And then you can wash it. You can also apply our ink to glass and some ceramics and heat set those in the oven, and they become permanent that way. I've only done a few projects like that. I have had success, but sometimes certain coatings on ceramics don't allow that ink to penetrate and become permanent. So kind of a hit and miss for some people, but it is possible to do it that way too. So, but we're going to work with our Chalkology paste. This is my color palette I have out for the series I'm working on. I've actually finished 9 pieces. I think I've showed 8 on my Facebook page, and maybe just 4 on Instagram. But once I get them all done, I'm going to try to go for 12 pieces. This is number 10. And then I'll put a video together and show it on our team pages and Chalkatura designer group. However, if you are new and you've never seen Chalkatura, we have reusable silk screen transfers that we can wash and reuse over and over about 8 to 10 times, depending on how well you take care of it, and maybe even longer if you take really good care of it. So that's what's great about them. You can use it with our paste or our inks. You just wash, let out to dry, put it back on the backer sheet, put it back in the envelope. So I have obviously already used this once on that other piece, so we're going to use it again for the second time. If you want to shop for Chalkatura products, here's my handy dandy homemade sign, which is funny because it kind of reminds me of the guy with the Venmo. I can't believe my mind just went blank. Made the homemade sign and raised $3 million for Iowa Children's Hospital. So chalkatura.com/Odessa Rose. Just go to that website, click on the catalogs, look at all the great ideas, and place an order. You'll be surprised how easy it is to do, and I'm right here to help you along the way. And if you have any questions, you can always message me right here on Facebook, Instagram, anywhere you want to message me, and I will help you. Okay, so here's our board. I always make sure the hanger is at the top. Rule number 1. And so if I was going to design this way, then you just remove the hanger and move it to the side. And then if you designed upside down, you can always move the hanger. But save yourself a lot of headache and make sure it's right side up. Okay, we're going to set that aside. And I selected these 2 papers already. I have tons and tons of paper that I've collected, and it takes me a while to go through and figure out what I want to use. I had to find something in the color palette, and I found this cute little string of banners, so I thought that would be really cute across the top, and then we'll put the buffalo plaid at the bottom. So let's see how it goes. First we want to trim it down. Just take my paper cutter, and I'm just going to trim it across the top of those ties so I get the whole banner. And I'm going to center this one in the middle so it's hanging right in the middle of the picture. So we're going to try to make sure this is where we want to cut it. Just lining up the cutter with the top of the bows, and then make sure your paper's in there square so you can keep everything nice and straight. Okay, we'll set that back. We won't need that. So now I have my first strip, and then we'll want to make a strip down here. And I didn't really measure this out, but I'm thinking something like that. You get your ruler and measure about how tall you want that. And I'm going to tear the edge of my paper, so I allow a little bit of space for tearing. So probably about 2 inches. I'm going to tilt this down just a little bit so you can see my desk better. Oop. I don't need to cut the ruler. So 2 inches. All right, we'll set that one aside. It's been raining like crazy out here. Well, all year seems like, but it rained, still raining. And I don't know. I hope the farmers can get their crops out. OMG, I've always wanted to see how you do this. I'm so excited. Well, thank you. What is that? I can't see. Sherilyn? Is that Shirlann? Sherilyn? I don't know. Cool. Hi. Welcome. Yes, so we're just going to cut the paper to fit into the frame. So I'm just kind of marking it where I want it. Let's just mark this, or cut this little piece, and then we'll work on the top, which I'm going to be a little more picky because I want to center those banners in the center. Now I just want to make sure this fits. It's a little tight. I don't want it to buckle, so I'm going to cut just a razor width. Let's see if I can get it. Not really going to have to cut the scissors. It's just a hair too long. Oh, I got too short. That's gonna bug me. I'm gonna recut. And recut it. I don't want any white spaces on the sides, so. A sheet of paper lasts a long time on projects and you don't use much, a couple inches. Okay. Pretty much do the same thing. Sometimes I can get it to slide underneath the frame, but this one's tight. Of course. It's gonna drive me nuts. Alright. I don't think I'm cutting very straight. There we go. Alright, fits in there perfect. Woo! That was close. I was gonna have to cut it again. Alright, let's leave this out. Turn this up. So I'm gonna work on it upside down so I can not have to reach. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it somewhere in there. Alright, done. Hi Robin, I love your work. Thank you. Do you make your own board? No, I already talked about my board. Most of my boards are repurposed from wherever I can find signs that are super duper clearanced. And usually that's the HL store. So I load up when they go specially, sometimes 75%, but usually I try to wait till they're 90%. If there's a whole bunch of them, I'll wait a while because they'll go down on sale. Okay, so that fits in there perfectly. So now I'm going to tear the edges. So I also use Chockatours signs occasionally. Those I kind of save more. I especially use those for class because the boutique boards are washable. And, you know, when you're designing, well, any designer, but especially when you're designing the first time, you know, you want to be able to wash it off. If your guest is making a mistake or they're not happy with it, you can just wash those boutique boards off and start over. That's what's great about the Chockatours boards. I also like to use their box frames. Now that's not really a washable surface. You can wash off chalk paste, but it might stain those, anything painted. Some of the pigments will stain. Unless you wax it first, then you have a pretty good chance of the chalk paste washing off without it staining. But I will probably apply a little bit of wax to this after I put the paper on, before I chalk. And then I always seal in my designs with paste, wax paste also, unless it's a board that I want to wash off, like one of those boutique boards. So some of my seasonal designs on my boards, especially for my home, I don't seal those because I'm going to wash them off and reuse them. So yeah, I almost always seal everything with wax. So, all right, let's start tearing. So we're going to tear the top edge. And I just make little tears. And you want to tear up to expose the white layer of the paper. If you tear down, then that exposes on the bottom side. So if you want to see the white edge of the torn paper, then you want to tear this up. So just start tearing. And then I just kind of go up and down, just kind of make it a random. So it's not perfectly straight across. I'll dip down in and go down, then come back up. This is a really thin paper, so it's not showing a lot of the white edge, but you can see some of it, okay? The thicker papers have a really nice torn edge. So here I'm trying to decide, I might tear up in following the banner, tear up and come down. So let's try that. So who else is watching? Karen, hello. And you guys know each other. Good morning, Lynn. I wondered how you did the accents on your pictures. Accents. What accents? And that is Lynn that's asking that. So I'm just tearing it. I'm kind of going up and into the banner. So it looks pretty good. Might go up to this one a little bit more. Okay, so I got that torn. Now we need to wax the edges. And there's a couple reasons why I wax them. Well, the main reason why I wax them before I Mod Podge them to the board is because I like to have the wax of the stained, special dark paste wax, because I like to age everything to look a little more vintage, so I like to put the stain on it. And you want to put the stain on the paper first before you Mod Podge, because the Mod Podge, if it spills out and some of it will ooze out, it will seal in your paper edge, and then the stain won't apply into your paper once it's got Mod Podge on it. So wax your paper first. If you want that vintage aged look, then wax your paper first, then glue it down with your Mod Podge. And that way, if some of the Mod Podge comes out, it'll be on top of the wax and it won't seal it in, and you've already got your stain on it. So that even applies to the actual paper. So this won't be so white anymore. It's going to age us down. And then all the paper will darken a little bit when you apply the stain wax. That's how I do it. You can not wax it, and if you don't want to age anything, then just put it on. Just don't wax it first, and then just apply the paste to the back of your paper and go that route. So let's move this aside so we can show you better. And I just saved these pieces of cardboard, or not like cardboard, kind of a chipboard. It came with our pumpkin and tree sets. Or sometimes I'll use just the sheet of cardboard that comes in our packaging, in our boxes. But these have become really handy, so I use those. So let's open up our can. The borders on the top and bottom. Oh, yeah, they're scrapbook paper. For the most part. Okay, so I keep my rag inside my pan because it keeps it moist and keeps it from drying out. So that's why I do that. And so you just want to smear on some wax and smear it over the edge of your paper. And I just cover the whole paper. And another reason for waxing your paper, even if you don't want it to age, you may want to wax it unless you remember to wax your whole board, is because if your transfer, which is sticky on the back, sticks on the paper and the transfer's super sticky, it's going to tear your paper because it's sticking to paper. So if you put wax on it, it keeps your transfer from sticking on your paper and ruining your paper by tearing it. So put the wax all over the paper so you don't have that problem later. If that makes sense. was trying to think what other questions people ask a lot. I don't know. Where do I get my paper? I get it from any place that sells scrapbook paper, either in a store or online. I like to shop for it. Okay, so we got waxed on both sides. Now we need to Mod Podge it to our board. Again, making sure the hanger is on the top. And flip these over so you don't forget, and make sure you can see everything. Now I have a cup with a little bit of water in it, and that's just so that when I'm done, I can just put my brush right into it and not remember to jump up and go wash it. Okay, so let's do the bottom piece first. And I just take a flat paintbrush, and you want to apply it at the back of your paper, making sure it's not too thin but not too thick. You want a nice coating on it. Okay. And just apply it down, making sure it's right along the bottom. And with another reason to kind of put a little heavy on the glue or on the Mod Podge is so you can move it, slide it around a little bit if you need to. Get it in the position. And then move it left and right if you need to. And smooth it all down. You want to get all the air pockets out. And you want to go back and check that in just a minute or so, because sometimes air pockets show up. So just keep smoothing it down. All right. And then let's do the top piece. Put that in my water. I usually just keep this little jar or smaller jar down here, but I have a big jar of it and I just keep refilling it. That's why it looks so old and nasty, because I've had it a long time. Okay. I think we're still going. There we go. I had a phone call coming in. I had to decline. So hopefully they'll just call back or leave a message. Okay, so we got this one in. Got it nice and straight in the corners, and then we're just smoothing it out. And you'll see some of the Mod Podge come out. And again, that's why we applied wax on the edge first, so it doesn't seal in and not be able to take the stain. Okay. Got it all in. Hi, Amy. We have 25 people watching. Say hello. Sometimes if I can't get that corner down, I'll take my little paint can opener and just press it in. Because I have like no fingernails to do it. Okay. So we got that in. Now I'm going to apply wax to this, which I could do after I apply, which I probably will after again, but I'm going to put a little bit on it now, just because I know this is Fusion Mineral Paint, which is awesome paint. And it takes a little bit of the wax. And I don't paint these the best, which I kind of do on purpose. I don't know if you can tell, but there's not as much paint up in here, and so it absorbs more of the wax in that area, which is kind of cool. It gives it more of a vintage aged look. Okay. I just put a little bit on there. And now we're ready to chalk. So I've just already decided kind of in my mind the colors I'm going to use. I mean, it's going to be from this color palette because this is the colors I'm working on for this series that I'm doing of 12 boards. And so if you're just joining in, this was the same sign that I made in this color palette. And now I'm going to make it in the reds and greens. So we're making this, but in a different colors, okay? So let's take our transfer. And these are silk screen transfers. If you've never seen them before, this is actual silk screen in here. And you can see all the detail that compared to cutting something with a Cricut or vinyl, you're not going to get all this detail in your cuts. So it's kind of cool. Can be just a little bit more fancier than cutting vinyl, which is awesome. So I'm just centering this left and right, horizontal and vertical. And it just fits in there perfectly. And I'm going to probably do a paste and peel. We're going to start at the top, paste, peel it up so it doesn't dry. If your paste dries too quickly in your silk screen, it's going to stick in your silk screen and won't stick to your board. So unless you're super fast, which I'm not going to be because I want to show you guys really well, I'm going to paste and peel. So I thought about doing the hat in the red shimmer, the carrot in gold, his scarf in greens, and the whole snowman probably just be in black since we have a lot of black in the paper. And then we'll do brown for the sticks. Okay, so let's start with the hat. Hi, Kelly. Good morning. I like the idea of a series of signs in one color. Yeah, I've been doing that for quite a while. I like to do series, especially if I'm going to a craft show, which these are going to be at. And then I will display them, you know, all together, each series. And it just looks good. Hopefully your customer will think, I need 2 or 3 of those to complete my look at home. But that probably never really happens, but you always hope. All right, we're gonna do the hat in the red glitter shimmer paste. So there's a little bit of sparkle in this. So you just apply it to your little mini squeegee, and we just want to cover the silkscreen area of the hat. The shimmer paste feels a little different and acts a little different than a regular paste. You gotta kind of make sure it gets down into the screen, so you want to press on it pretty well and go over it in different directions so the glitter gets down in it. And it probably doesn't dry quite as fast as regular paste, but nevertheless, we're gonna paste and peel. So we have our area covered, and we're just gonna peel that up. Okay, and there's our hat. So I'm gonna hit that with a blow dryer just to make sure it's starting to dry a little bit. Okay, just let it lay back down, and then you want to press again where these words are. You want to make sure everything's pressed back down and the air pockets are out. Okay. So let's get our black ready and our gold nose. We'll come down, we'll do these and that area, and then we'll peel it back. So we have some black and we have some gold. Get a couple more squeegees. I am really thirsty this morning. Okay, where is the palette from? The sign. The sign was repurposed from HL. I bought it earlier, probably this summer when the stuff, I don't know how often they do 75 to 90% off signs there, but I try to hit those and load up on signs, and I try to look for signs that I feel our transfers will fit into. I like to, you know, we have our 18 by 18. If you can get a nice big square sign for the 18 by 18 transfers, those are good to get. And then, you know, this size for a 9 by, this is a perfect size for a 9 by 11. So you can put a little paper up above and below it, and it works perfect. So I bought maybe 4 of these, all of it they had, and because I knew they'd work good for this size. Another one I used yesterday, I went horizontal with it, and that's what I put that Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I had painted the middle black on that one. So yeah, you have to repaint them, and some I'll do white and some I'll do black because I like to work with both colors. But yeah, try to find, you think, oh, you're getting a really big deal on these really big ones, but there's not a lot of transfers that really fit into them. You have to really be thinking ahead if you're going to get the big boards. So stick with ones that you know the transfers will work or will fit into. That's my advice on that. Sometimes a nice square ones, especially if you can get one that's 18 by 18 or 20 by 20, you can put the size C, D transfer in. Those are great. Yeah. And even the little ones, like for a 5 by 7 transfer, you know, grab some of those too. Sometimes some of their signs are actual paper instead of like paint. So you just kind of need to be careful on the paper ones that, you know, use a good paint. Don't get too wet of a paint on it, and you'll be fine. If that all makes sense. But most of my signs are repurposed. And you do have to take the time to repaint them. So I'm just applying the black on theirs. And we'll do it on the snow. I've been using all these pastes, so they're pretty hydrated and ready to go because I was chalking all day yesterday too. Okay, so we have that. We want to work quickly and get our gold on the carrot. There we go. Okay, I'm going to peel that back. We'll hit that with the dryer. I think we're done with the gold. alternate the greens on the scarf. I'm gonna do the pesto and the, what is it, sage. I'm gonna alternate the colors so we have a striped scarf. And I'll probably want to use a multi-tool for that so we can get in those small areas. These are great if you haven't invested in they're not very expensive, but this end's really good for stirring or scraping down your jar and getting it all mixed in well. You can use both ends for mixing, but this little squeegee on the end is perfect for small areas. Okay, so let's get started. We'll do all the light pieces. Whoops. Forgot this part. Okay, wrong color. Okay, let's peel that back. And there's our scarf. Make sure you can see. And we'll hit that with a dryer too. You always want to be careful when you're starting to peel back that this paste doesn't land in here, because I can see I kind of have some red right there, because it'll go onto your board, so if it goes through the silk screen. So just kind of be careful. Alright, I think we'll do the sticks and the word place and peel that. Well, we could probably do all this. This is all going to be black. I might just do all this. No, I'm going to do each branch and then do all that. That way I can just peel up the side of the stick and then I'll do all the black. That makes sense. Just releasing the paste from the silk screen so it doesn't dry in it. Alright. We'll peel that side up just to release that. Okay, now we're going to do all the rest of the black. Just making sure it's all down. Just about done. Alright, we're going to pick up the extra. If you scrape it down really good, you should be able to see your transfer. And just put that paste back in your jar. Alright. There's our cute guy. I'm going to lay this in the water. I have a little tub of water down here. Usually I just go straight to the sink and wash them, but I'm going to show you how to wash it too. So, there. Now we blow dry it, and then I'm going to put some more wax on it. And he'll be done. Sometimes I'll embellish down here with a twine or charms or something. Kind of just depends. But I don't know, there's quite a lot going on up here. So I don't really want to take away from the banners up there. So I don't know if I will put anything down here. Another thing I've been using, I did this on the fall ones too, are these from Dollar Tree, these little cutouts. They're super cute. Some are natural and then some have glitter. And so the little wooden snowflake might look cute down here. But we have trees and stars and stockings and presents. They're all really fun. So I'm just gonna see what it looks like. Because it's a snowman, I'm thinking snowflake. You can paint these if you want. They have a little sticky pad that came off. So you can, I always add glue, the E6000, just to make sure they're going to stay on. But, so the little snowflakes might be cute down here. And it kind of brings in this natural color down to the bottom, which I kind of like that, because this is not getting as dark as the paper. So I kind of like bringing that color down here. So I could put like 3 snowflakes across the bottom, or just the one. So let's think about that. Make sure I don't have any open. The mittens are cute too, but I think snowflakes, since it's snowman, would be cute. Something like that would be adorable. Look at it on the camera to see what it looks like. I kind of like that. So I'll probably put those on there. But first I'm going to wax the whole thing again. Seal in my paste. Another great thing about waxing, whether you use natural or stain, is that I think it kind of enhances the color a little bit. It does dull your glitter paste a little bit, but I'm okay with that. And yes, you can spray polyurethane spray of some sort, a sealer on it, but I personally don't want to take the time I'm down in my lower level of my house, go upstairs, go outside, or go to the garage. And if the weather's damp like it is today, it's going to take longer to dry. And it's just faster for me to wax it. So that's why I use wax. But you definitely want to seal in your paste. Even if you're not going to sell it, unless it's on a board that you're going to wash off and reuse, like a nice boutique chalkboard from Chalk-Couture. Then you don't need to. Or you don't want to, because you're going to wash it off. So that's the great thing about our chalk paste, is it washes off. So we're just dirtying them up a little bit. Like I said, you can use your natural paste and it won't, you know, vintage it. It won't age it. Just depends on what look you're going for. Any more questions? Wax is on. Just make sure to shut my jar really well. Now I'm going to take my E6000 glue and glue these guys on. I'm just going to make sure the little sticker's in the middle. Okay. And then I'm just going to lay a ruler across here just so I can pretty much find the center. I'll put 1 inch there, so it's not quite 10 inches. Yeah, it's a little, actually it's almost 9, so almost 4.5 is the middle. So I'm going to place the middle one first. And I like to put the glue kind of around the sticky pad, because the sticky pad's going to put it in its place right now, and then the glue will hold it permanently. So I went all the way around the sticker. And it looks like it's... Okay. I'll do the next one. And one more. Kind of thick because I want it to drip down to the board and then dry, holding the piece to the board. Since it has that little bit of a cushion sticker on it, you want it Got it on there. These take a little while for this glue to set, so I will lay it flat for most of the day. And I just check on it every once in a while to make sure they're not floating. Make sure they kind of want to turn, so we make sure they're laying flat. So just check them every once in a while. Just getting the same position on that buffalo plaid. Okay, so there it is. We're done. Cute. All right, so I'm gonna lay this flat. I'm gonna lay it here on the floor. I want to show you how to wash the transfer. Let me put these down. Dollar Tree. I love them. I bought the pumpkin ones and some Halloween ones, but I love how these have the detail in the like the presents in the trees. It's got little dots on them, and the mittens are so cute. They got a little pattern on them, and the candy canes. $1. I think that's a steal. Love those. Okay, so here's our transfer setting in the water, and oh my god, these are the only towels I have. Oh well. Okay, I'm gonna lay microfiber side up. These are our fuzzing cloths, we call them. One side is like a terry. This is perfect for adding fuzz to your back of your transfer. Sometimes our transfers are super sticky, and they're almost too sticky. So we put a little fuzz on the back of them before we put them on our board, so that they release up off their board without stretching the transfer. So that's why we call them fuzzing cloths. So they put a little fuzz on the back of the transfer. And then the other side is a microfiber, which is really absorbent. So that's good for drying your transfers on. So these are our board erasers. These are perfect for washing off our boutique board, chalkboards, removing that paste, chalk paste, but it also is great for cleaning off our transfers. So I'm just gonna take it, and you can see I'm already rubbing the top of the transfer and getting that paste off. I got all my squeegees in here too. So and you can definitely do this under the running water in your sink, which is where I usually clean mine. And you'll see the paste is coming off. And just do the rest of it, and then all we have to do is let it dry. Put the backer sheet back on it, and you're good to go. Okay, so I like to lay it sticky side up. There's a little bit of glitter paste on the back. You don't want to rub the sticky side too much because you don't want to rub the stickiness off. Okay, so I'm just gonna put the other towel on top just to dry it really quick. This is also great if you need to go back over something or reuse it again quickly. You can dry them off pretty quickly with these microfiber towel sides of the cloth. Okay, so that is dry and clean. So just lay it sticky side up. Take your backer paper that it came on, and there's a paper side and a shiny side. So you want the shiny side to the sticky side of the transfer. That way it's going to be able to remove off the paper. If you actually stuck the paper on it, it could stick to the paper and ruin everything. So use the shiny side to the sticky side, and you just basically match that up like so. Press it down. Now it's back on the backer, and you can put it in your envelope that it came in. There's a little flap, so you just open up the flap and slide that back in. And Voila. Looks like I got a little wax paste on the front. Okay, so there's your transfer, ready for storage, and then it's all ready to go for the next time you want to use it. Okay, and then you just wash your tools, your squeegees. You can just do that under the faucet too. This water's getting pretty dirty. So just rub all the paste off of it. And they'll be ready to use again. That's it. That's everything. Okay, so I'll allow these to dry. I just keep them in my little container over here. All right, and I will dump that out. And that's it, guys. I'll show you my sign again. This is the first one I did in my Mary Alpine collection. I added a little, I just did this, I kind of used a combination of the Aleene's glue and the E6000. This one's going to dry faster, so sometimes I will put a little bit of it down just to get everything in place, and then I kind of use both. But the E6000 is a stronger glue, and it's going to make it more permanent. So either one. Okay, and then today we did this one. And we added the snowflakes. And they're still setting, so I'm not going to tilt it up very long. But you get the idea. Super cute. That's it. Thanks, guys, for watching. You have any more questions real quick? So that's how I apply my paper. If you missed that, just go back and watch. And I'll chalk with you later. Guys, have a great day. Bye.